Man, what's going on, America? You know what it is already. If you are getting this live feed, that means you are subscribed, and that means you know who Kevin from Kevin's Corner is, and that means you're probably up a little late. See, I noticed something. We as Americans sometimes can forget that, we're not the only, I guess, country, even in America, not the only time zone. Sometimes I crack up when people out in LA and all these different places, they hit me with the, it's only 7 o'clock here and it's like 11 o'clock here. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought everybody's supposed to revolve around our particular time zone, but they don't. It's kind of like how Americans think that we're the only ones that don't have an accent. Everybody else has an accent. And then when you go somewhere else and they look at you like you have an accent, I'm like, what? Well, no, I don't. I speak English, man. I don't have no accent. You understand that? Well, you forget sometimes that we don't have a patent on accents or English and none of that stuff. So same thing with the time zone. And I said to myself, you know what? Why don't we kick it back a notch, do a very brief live session for all of those that might be on different time zones, cross, the pond or whatever. And also for those that have vampire hours, just like me, this is for you too. Any of you all that are night owls sitting up, scrolling through YouTube 3 a.m. And I wonder what this guy's talking about. Click it. This is for you. This is for you. All right. So with that being said, y'all, a couple of things popped up. And as always, I try to stay abreast on what's going on around the country. Now, before I get into all of that, I did end up talking to somebody last night from YouTube. Now, of course, I'm assuming the person that I spoke with was a snotty-nosed youngster because, as soon as I posed my concerns, it was like, I understand. Don't you hate when they tell you that they understand, but, they don't really? They start off by telling, I do understand. That can be frustrating. And I'm thinking, you don't understand. You're just saying that to calm me down so I don't come in swinging. So as I understand, tell you what, give me a minute to check on all of your concerns. What he did is probably went to the book like, all right, when angry black conservatives call in or, text it, make sure you calm that angry black man down by saying you understand. That's part one. Number two, tell him, give me some time to look into it. If you don't know the answer, come find your manager, which this person had to do. They had to go find their manager in regards to several things, several questions I had. For example, one of them was 6 months. I went from 150, I think 4 or 156,000 subscribers, all the way down to 152. They took subscribers went down to 152 for 6 months straight. Didn't increase one new subscriber. And then suddenly, when I finally got in touch with the prior snotty-nosed kid, all of a sudden, in 1 month, I go from 152 to over 200,000. Then I reach all the way up to 205,000. And now the growth has stopped. And I'm starting to go backwards. As I was chatting with the snot-nosed, I'm assuming, with the snot-nosed kid, while I was chatting, I'm watching my channel went from, I think, 200,000 something down to just 200,000 flat. Right before my eyes, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are these people disappearing right now? Why are they disappearing? I do understand. I understand that can be frustrating. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to escalate this up to my manager. I was like, you do that. You do that. Okay? All right? And we'll settle it later on. So if you're watching this video, please make sure that you share the videos, that you, of course, hit the like button, all the stuff to show YouTube that folks actually are interested in what I'm talking about. Because, they tried to give me the brush off answer. Well, maybe your subscribers are not interested. I'm going, okay, see, now you're going. They're not even getting notifications. Man, okay? Ain't even getting notifications. Don't come at me with that bull crap. Just got here. Can't tell, been here. Nothing. And with that being said, let's jump into a couple things that stood out to me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to talk about this tonight. All right, so here's Laura.
Triumphs.
Trump's
That's
triumphs.
the focus
That's
of
the
tonight's
focus.
angle.
Mm-hmm.
As I close out this year, I thought it was super important to reiterate just how fortunate we were to have had a president like Donald Trump for 4 years.
I agree. Right off grip. See, that's one of them intros that I don't even need to commentate over. I just want her to know. I agree 100%. And you know what's sad? The people that think that they hated Trump so bad and he was the worst thing since sliced bread, they're going to wake up one day if Trump don't get back in. See, and this is the bad part about it. It's a catch-22. On one end, you know that if you let creep, sleep, slop, sleep, slime get in, what's going to happen is they'll find out the hard way. However, if Trump gets back in, they'll never find out the hard way because you're looking at another 4 years of them telling the same bubbleheads all types of lies and propaganda. So the bubbles, they won't be able to see it one way or another. On one end, I'm like, I want them to see it, but not at the expense of all of us. It would be different if their votes didn't impact us. I wouldn't care. You know what? Y'all got your own president. But that stuff messes with us. And if that's the case, no, my brother, you got to get your own. All right, so now, with that being said, let's finish hearing about what Laura's talking about. Let's see.
Now, forget the savagery of his critics, the rank media bias, and of course the controversy surrounding the 2020 election, mail-in ballots. Set that aside for just a moment.
Okay.
And just focus on what President Trump, against incredibly strong headwinds, did for our economy. Today, more than 6 weeks after Election Day, the New York Times, believe it or not, published a piece confirming how much Trump's policies helped our factory workers. The focus in that article was on the carrier plan in Indianapolis. Now, it seems like a lifetime ago when in February 2016, a carrier executive made an announcement about the fate of the storied enterprise.
Now, I remember this. And see, here's something that's pretty clever on the left side. They knew that Trump had built this huge resume of accomplishments. What they needed to do is wipe all that away with some natural catastrophe so that folks with the short-term memory won't even remember all of that stuff that happened as if that was a lifetime ago, as if it was like, man, dude, didn't Abe Lincoln do that or something? I don't remember any of that. And I'm like, dude, that was what, a year ago before this you-know-what hit? So you're telling me you done forgot all of that stuff? Because the media needed to erase their minds. He needed to let them know, look, dude, don't look at all the accomplishments. All that's been undone by this whole virus outbreak and all of that stuff. So they never wanted to add all of those accomplishments into the equation of what's going on right now. And so if these things weren't done prior to the you-know-what popping up out of nowhere, do you think our economy would still be able to survive? If you've been hitting the weights hard and you're swole up and ain't big for nothing, guess what? If you get hurt or something, you still got a lot of build up muscle that could compensate and help you recover quicker than you all skinny walking around like you can hula hoop with a Cheerio. Or like the guy I used to train back in Cincinnati, coming in to train with a big oversized milkshake. Almost slapped it out of his hand. And what are you doing with that? I'm here to work out. Yeah, so when you have not put in the time to make something strong, when the wind blows, it's going to tip right on over. It's going to tip right on over. So now, all of the bubbleheads, they don't remember this stuff. They don't remember all the accomplishments that Trump had prior to coming into this election because the media made sure that they didn't. The media made sure that they did every single thing they could to make folks not even recognize the good things that he's done. They wanted to make sure folks couldn't see him as a human, but instead they wanted everyone to see him as this white nationalist dictator. But yet they would trot Joe Biden out on the networks and ask him stuff like, now, we know that some will criticize your son. Yes, he had a drug habit. Yes, he closed deals with so many corrupt companies and countries. We all know that. Yes, that was his laptop that was found in that laptop repair station. But you know what? That's not here or there. How do you feel as a father to hear people criticize your raggedy son with that drug habit that closed those corrupt deals? How do you feel? And yet, Joe Biden, thanks for throwing me the softball. I can't even hit that. Hey, I'm Jill's husband. What you wait? No, I'm my husband. No, I'm Jill's. Are you my wife or am I the wife? I don't know. You answer that because you wear pants. See, so all of this stuff that they would throw on Trump, but then they want to get sensitive, y'all. Sensitive with Joe. Hey, sensitive. Did y'all see Creep, Sleep, Slop getting that vaccination that I think it was Kamala Harris that was talking about well, if Trump, if it comes out under Trump, I'm not taking it. You know, so why would you go ahead and stick it in Joe's old arm? I wonder even if it was the vaccination. I wonder if they didn't slide some, placebo into Creepy, Sleepy, Sloppy, because you can't run the risk of Joe immediately imploding soon as you poke the darn needle into his arm and gone. But nonetheless, maybe he did. I don't know. Anyway, so the media has done a great job trying to erase all the stuff that Laura Ingraham is highlighting. Let's continue.
It became clear that the best way to stay competitive and protect the business for long term is to move production from our facility in Indianapolis to Monterrey, Mexico.
Boo! Boo! Y'all hear that? That company was about to bounce to Mexico. It was going to Mexico. And then Trump comes in to save the day. You think Joe would have did that? You think Joe would have got on the horn? No, because Joe probably been getting kickbacks from Mexico for all we know. Yeah, you want me to send the jobs to you guys as long as you campaign, you contribute to my next campaign, and I'm going to send Hunter to have a little talk with you. Yeah, talk. All of that stuff. So you think that these globalist, sorry career politicians would have got in and fought for these people's jobs? I'm just wondering. I would be willing to bet my bottom dollar that would have never happened. I bet my bottom dollar, just like you know who, Bayrock, was talking about these jobs, they're not coming back. I mean, unless you got a magic wand. They had already tapped out and concluded, well, guys, just get ready because this is the new norm. All those jobs are gone. There's nothing we can do. And Trump stepped in and said, what are they talking about? We still got to make things. What do you mean? There's not robots building stuff. We still have humans. And even if the jobs go overseas, humans are still doing stuff. So now what do you say? We're incapable of making stuff here in the United States? See, they don't think like that. You know why? Because they're not America first. They're globalists first. Therefore, Trump said, well, why are we incentivizing all of these companies to move away? And yet, when they sell back to us, they don't even have to pay all type of import taxes and stuff like that. Now, that's a great deal. If you're a businessman, you're like, well, heck, even if I wanted to stay in America, I mean, I guess I ain't got no choice. I mean, I got to bounce because people like Joe and them would hike up taxes so much. And I'm going, okay, see, these are the things that the bubbleheads don't understand. These folks down there that he saved their job, I guarantee you, they're like, oh, crap. So now that's all about to go right out the window because of Creepy, Sleepy, Sloppy, and the rest of all of those people that helped you know what happened. Let's continue. Tell us, Laura.
But then populist, pro-American worker Donald Trump made it his personal mission after he won the presidency to ensure that carriers save these American jobs and keep its factory in the United States.
Wait a minute. So let me get this straight. The white nationalist, that one, the one that came into the White House, wanting to send all black people back to Africa. You mean tell me he did stuff like that? You're telling me that this dude came in and he said stuff like, you know what, America first, which in the eyes and in the minds of the liberal media and the Democrat meant slavery. See, yeah, I want to go back to America first. And it's like, you know what he's talking about? He's talking about a time when there were slaves. Okay, when he says that, that's a dog whistle. Really? It's a dog? I didn't hear that. Okay. I mean, in their heads, he said, you know what? When I say America first, I'm talking about white Anglo-Saxons first. You understand that? So he didn't say any of that, but they had to demonize the statement because any rational American should never get upset when the president says, I'm looking out for America first. Now, that goes to show you how powerful gaslighting is. That goes to show you how powerful just straight manipulation, brainwashing, propaganda is when you get upset at a president that says he's looking out for your country first. You hear that? I hope that sinks in to all the knuckleheads that for some reason exchange the president that focused on our needs first for another whack supposed president-elect who doesn't focus on America first. Before he even got in, it's America first policy Trump's talking about. You can't go it alone. You can't go it alone. All of that crap. I'm like, well, why can't you? If we got the cards right now, we better use them, because those cards, the hand is changing, and Joe's going to make sure the hand changes if he wins. After a while, man, the darn Chinese going to have all spades. Some of y'all just black, or not even black, but play spades, right? See, that's one thing, you got to know how to play spades if you're black. It's just, I think it's in the Geneva Convention or something. Man, our black people need to know how to play spades. It took me forever. I waited until I got to college. Do you know how much persecution I took? I took more persecution over not knowing how to play spades than being a black Republican. I roll up on the scene in college and like, dude, we about to go down to the basement and play some spades. You play spades? No, I don't know how to. What? Calling other folks. Hey, dude, come here, man. I'm like, man, why you calling people? Come here, man. Dude. This guy right here, he doesn't even know how to play spades. You ain't black. Yeah. So when we turn all this power over into the hands of China, which Joe would do, you know what's going to happen? Running the board. We got all 13 spades now, thanks to Joe. Because when Trump was in there, we didn't even have no spades. We almost had to throw our hand in. Sitting there looking at all low numbers. I got a 2 of hearts and a 3 of clubs. Oh, I can't even get you one. I can't get you one. Let's go board. So with that being said, Joe's going to go ahead and shift the whole power back over to them. But let's continue hearing what Laura's talking about.
Indiana is the home of Carrier Air Conditioning, which is leaving for Mexico. That won't happen if I'm president. Carrier will not be leaving Indiana if I'm president.
You were one of the people whose jobs was saved, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Do you thank Donald Trump for this?
Yes.
Did you ever think it would happen?
No. Even.
And you know why? You know why she didn't think it would happen? Because we're so used to politicians doing this. Chirp, 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 chirp. Nothing but talking out the side of their neck. You remember the song, talking out the side of my neck. Talking out the side of their neck, making promises, bounce, and we don't see him again for another 4 years. Okay. As they let all of this stuff just trickle on out of our country. You wake up and like, where'd all the jobs go? Where'd all the steel mills go? How did this happen again? Yeah, you wake up one day in your whole neighborhood, demographics have changed. Not because you're mad because of racism, but you're going, oh, wait a minute. Somebody shuffled these folks into my neighborhood and they're not even legally supposed to be here. I ain't got nothing wrong. I ain't got nothing against folks from other countries. But why would you just do that? Do you shuffle them into Nancy's neighborhood? No. Do you shuffle them into all of these politicians who allow that to happen for so many years? No, they like, not here. Not here. Send them somewhere else. So this woman, along with many others, even us that voted for Trump the first time, it was a gamble. I liked what he was saying, but we're also used to hearing people do that as politicians. But yet, he gets in and he does something that nobody expected, and it was so wonderfully done that they had, if they ever had a shot in 2020, they had to make good things appear to be bad things. Did y'all hear that? They hit us with the vampire from Brooklyn. Everybody talking about evil. Everybody talking about evil, 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 evil. Listen, if you didn't know evil, then you wouldn't know good. Therefore, evil is good. Now everybody say it with me. Evil is good. And if you saw the movie, all the bubbleheads in the audience were like, okay, evil is good. That's what they have done to a lot of American citizens by saying, if he says America first, that's a bad thing. You see? Do you see? Maybe it's just me. But I got a feeling somebody out there understands what I'm thinking and going through.
And on Thanksgiving, when we heard that there was a tweet that Donald was talking to Carrier, I was like, no, we've already started taking measurements. They're gone. There's no way.
Psych on the motorbike.
But yeah, he did it.
Oh my gosh, I watched that. It makes me want to cry. Now, almost 5 years later, its workers are logging long days.
Okay.
And the plant is thriving.
Thriving?
But with globalist Joe Biden waiting in the wings, the workers now have a foreboding feeling about what the future will hold.
Oh, so if I'm understanding this, Lorraine, okay, what happened is that company was on life support, and the doctors came in and said, we just got to make it comfortable. There's nothing we can do. And then Trump come in with some new technology. Get out of the way, all right, clear, and brought it back to life. Now, Joe Biden is apparently getting back in are getting in, and folks are worried. That goes to show something. That goes to show everybody who got any type of economic knowledge or sense is saying, uh-oh, somebody said my screen is blurry. Well, how is that? Hey, man, what are you saying? My screen dirty? It's blurry. I look clear from here. Oh, you know what? See, y'all messing with my mind now. All right, let me see if I can clean it up. Since we got the... Okay, let me see. We can't have me looking blurry to the people. All right, watch this all go wrong. Watch this. Probably going to go all bad. Okay, let's see this. A little bit of that right there. And, uh-oh, wait. Okay, let's see. That's the best I can do, man. That's the best I can do. Okay, now, let's get back to this. So the point that I'm trying to make is that folks had such a low expectation in regards to politicians and what they're going to actually do. These folks were more shocked that Trump did it than not did it. You know, when he came in, he was doing stuff, checking it off the list in record amounts of time. And everybody is going, no, wait a minute, whoa. I'm more impressed at the fact that he really did that versus, he didn't do it. Because if he wouldn't have done it, it wouldn't have been no difference than the stuff that we've been dealing with for a whole bunch of years. All right, let's continue.
Some of us think they're stockpiling equipment so they can close the factory later. That's a worry that has only intensified for workers like Paul Roel, a Trump supporter who fears that after the president leaves office, Carrier management will dust off old plans to move the factory's 1,050 jobs to Mexico. Trump's the reason we have our job. And as long as he was in office, we were safe, Mr. Roel said. We don't have the leverage anymore.
But you know what? According to all the angry never-Trumpers, the ones that's suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, who cares? Who cares if we all get put on lockdown, destroy and decimate the middle class? Who cares if all our jobs get shipped over to China? Who cares if Hunter and Joe is corrupt? Who cares about all of this stuff as long as Orange Man Bad is gone? And look at us. We did it in the name of fighting against injustice and racial tension and all of that with no results, though. Don't forget. So if Trump goes, racism still is here. See, they don't get that. Your job goes with him, though. See, that's what they don't understand. They're not making that connection, y'all. They're not making that connection. So, okay, cool. You get Trump out, and with him goes all the jobs. But yet in your mind, you're going, well, we're better off. Look at that. We done dealt with race. Wait, we didn't deal with racism? So racism is still here? So the Democrats are still using the same things they used when they were running against Trump? Racism, sex, and xenophobia. Every 4 years it gets recycled and come back. It makes a comeback. That's what you're telling me. It's like, Haley's Comet, come back every couple years or so. This right here is what bothers me. Because in an emotional state of mind, when these people are being manipulated by politicians, they set aside their own self-interest. So now you feel better that you stood up against false accusations of white nationalism, racism, and all of that stuff, that still will be another false accusation the next 4 years. But yeah, you feel better without a job. Good luck, man. Good luck going down to get that government cheese. Well, hey, I'm fighting against racism. Can I get the block of cheese? Yeah, the one that you can actually use as a weapon if needed be. Good luck going down to get those genetic types of foods that we used to get growing up. They'd give you a big box, and on the box it just says cereal. In big black words, cereal. Wasn't no cornflake. Wasn't no Raisin the brand, nothing. Cereal. And everybody knew that you was down there getting that government stuff because there was no brand name. My mama had to get me to go get stuff. And you know what? On that pack of cigarettes, it just said cigarettes. That was it. Wasn't no Cools. Wasn't no Winstons. Cigarettes. Good luck, y'all. You feel better. You feel better because Orange Man's gone. As you're getting that powdered milk down there, trying to figure out the consistency to make real milk. Let me see. Still tastes like too much water. Uh-oh. I put too much powder in it. Now it looks like oatmeal. All of that stuff. Good luck with all of that, long as you're feeling good about I was fighting against racism. Now I need to borrow some money, okay? So don't come my way. Let's continue here.
Well, I'm sorry to say, the workers there, their instinct, spot on.
Dead on.
China and other low-wage countries, including Mexico, they're licking their chops.
Yes, they are.
Eager to gobble up the last of our great American factories. And with them, good-paying jobs.
Sure.
They've already gotten the EU to agree in principle that China has to a major investment agreement. That was just announced. And now they're acting aggressively, targeting against Australia with disproportionately massive tariffs levied by Beijing.
So China's making a power move while Joe will be completely handicapped to stop it. Because, of course, she most likely will be like, now, Joe, don't forget what we did for Hunter. See, Joe can't do nothing to stop this mess. Nothing. Because I guarantee you, they're sitting on a whole heap of intel because of Joe. To where Joe can't say, he can't go, hey, Chi, can you take it easy on? No, I'm not doing nothing. In fact, I would like to come to the U.S. and plant the Chinese flag right on top of the White House. What you gonna do, huh, Joe? What you gonna do? You gonna try to stop me? Do I need? I go CNN. Is this? Hello? Okay, I thought so. We're on our way. In fact, I got 2 people waiting outside the White House with the flag already because we assumed that you would let us do it.
So Joe Biden, if he didn't want to lose to China, he shouldn't have signaled that he had every intention of trashing Trump's America First trade agenda.
What?
The EU, well, they've decided to throw in with the global winner. And with Trump out of the way, that winner is China. Now, in this scenario, the rich international conglomerates, they'll get richer. Wall Street, they'll get a lot richer too. As they all engage in ruthless global arbitrage.
Now, is this the same Wall Street? And is this the same billionaires that Bernie and the rest of the socialists running around complaining about? Are these the same rich folks that Antifa has a problem with? Black Lives Matter has a problem. All of these folks that's liberal on the left, mad at the system, mad at the cronies, mad at the power that a small group of people have as they voted back in someone that will keep that same behavior going. They never stop to think for a second, why do all the rich, powerful companies and people hate Trump? I'm just wondering. It's an uncommon amount of hate. See, nobody is that hated. No one possesses all that evil that they have thrown on Trump, unless you are Diablos or perhaps maybe Hillary Clinton. There's Nasty Nancy and Joe Biden. Outside of those people, outside of those 4, nobody contains that much evil. Even if you were an evil villain, you couldn't contain that much evil. You would blow up. You would ignite. Like, dude, I'm too much evil on the inside. I can't even say a word that don't come out evil. So that's what they wanted everybody to think about Trump. Because they couldn't come out and say, hey, excuse me, America. Trump's digging in our pockets. Trump's messing up our whole comfortable nest egg. Trump is holding us accountable and making us actually have to pay our bills. Trump won't get involved with stupid little superficial groups and stuff. Look, we're fighting against global warming, America. We want you guys to give $1 trillion, but nobody else needs to give in any of that stuff. We need you to be the heavy lifter, America. Trump is going, what? How much? What? China's not doing nothing? They don't have the same restrictions? What, India? All of them? The ones that's actually kicking up all the dust? Nothing? No, we're not doing that. We're out of here. We're not your bank. Not your bank. So that gives all of those folks incentives to say, get this dude out of here. Get him out of here. Because I guarantee you, if he would have got in and said, hey guys, I'm in. I'm about to hook all y'all up. You think they would be talking about he's a racist, white nationalist, xenophobe, gotta get him? No. They would be going, that's my boy. That's my boy. But we all would be going, we're still broke. All right, let's continue.
Without one whit of concern when entire American industries are dismantled and shipped overseas. Isn't globalization wonderful? You know, that's what they're going to say. They're going to say, look at all these cheap products we have. Toys are so cheap, and you can buy a pair of pants for, $4.
Y'all hear that? See, that would be their argument. Okay, so let's play that out, guys. Joe Biden gets in. And then Chi says, I'm about to go buck wild on you. I'm going to make up for lost time. I'm going to make up for that lost time. Okay, I'm going to stick it to y'all just for y'all allowing Trump to get in and disrupt our economy. How dare y'all? How dare y'all have elections like this? Makes me sick. Now, we've been working with y'all for a long time, trying to show y'all how to implement the system that we use. Okay, we don't tolerate all that, man. We don't have folk out there talking about, all that, we're fighting and we got coochie hats on and we got, no. We don't tolerate that, man. Okay? See, and if y'all would have did what we said, which is what y'all trying to do right now, lock the people down, make sure they're under your control. If y'all did that, we wouldn't have had to deal with a Trump. So, because y'all didn't do what we told y'all to do, we gonna stick it to y'all. All right, give me them jobs. You better give me them jobs, Joe. You better give me them. Okay? But you gonna sell them back to us for cheap, the products? Okay. Well, how are we going to buy them if we're broke? That's my question. Great. Okay, I found some Levi's for $13, but I only got 14 cents. Yeah, because all the jobs went overseas to China. So that's the irony of it all. Okay, yeah, we'll lower the prices. But how many folks are going to be dead broke and relying on the system and talking about, well, at least the products are cheap, but I can't even afford that? You see what I'm... Do you see? Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Let's continue.
What a travesty. Biden
Am I
will
really
merely
that
be
clear?
a passive manager.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let's get something straight. Let me make sure my connection is right, because people up are talking about I'm blurry. Let's see here. I hate to interrupt my flow. Okay, everybody, can you see me up there? Huh? You to the tube? Okay, let's continue.
Our decline, as we outsource not just jobs, but our entire future. But back to Trump's triumphs.
Okay.
This week's stunning economic news from the Federal Reserve that was completely lost or ignored by the lamestream press.
What?
I'm talking about the Fed's projections for the U.S. economy, which, in convenient timing, exceed its projections from just a few months ago as the fall campaign season got underway.
Holy moly!
Now, we find on page 2 of this document that the change in real GDP for 2020 is now projected to be negative 2.4%. That's an improvement from the prediction of negative 3.7% in September. In other words, what will be an economic disaster for much of the world, including Europe, will be only a mild recession for Americans under Trump.
Thanks to Trump. Because, see, honestly, any other leader, we all would be down there in the soup line. So Trump comes in, builds a strong enough economy to survive the storm. He's the squirrel that stored up the nuts for the cold winter. But yet, they ignored all that stuff. Ignored all that. Now, here's my question to everyone. Do you really think that creepy, sleepy, sloppy, sleazy, slimy Joe and Chameleon Harris is going to come in and continue the path of building a strong economy, holding all of our enemies and some of our partners, holding them accountable and not letting us get taken advantage of? You think they got that in them? No, they don't. You know why? Because instead of America first, it is Joe Biden first. Instead of America first, it is Chameleon Kamala Harris first. That's what it is. So whatever they got to do to enrich their pockets. I mean, we've already seen signs of that. Chameleon, you think she was really in love, whatever that dude's name was in California when she was young, she digging with Willie Brown. You think she was really digging Willie? No. You think she like, Willie, I love your flabby 60-year-old skin. It just does me right every time I rush up against it. No. You think she was really digging that dude? No. He was a business move. That's what it was. Same thing with Joe Biden. They've already shown the American people that's willing to see with their own eyes that these people care about themselves. And you know it's bad when Willie Brown calls up Biden and say, don't you do it. That's bad, y'all. When he says, don't you do it. You know it's bad when her dad gets in her grill. But yet people, and she's an inspiration to us all.
Trump, the Republican governors who kept things open, and the American people saved the U.S. economy.
Okay.
And the unemployment rate for 2020 is projected to be 6.7%. That's an improvement from the 7.6% they were predicting back in September. Again, this figure would be much worse if we had listened to Team Lockdown. The Fed projects a booming economy over the next 2 years. 4.2% growth in 2021, and the 2023 unemployment rate should be down, they say, to 3.7%.
So, Laura, what you're saying, in spite of all of this crap that they threw at Trump, being willing to decimate America completely. If it meant that Trump was going to get back in, we can't live with that. Let's destroy the whole thing. Burn it down. So even with all of that, we're still making progress? That's what you're telling me, Laura? Unless what happens?
In short, President Trump has effectively solved the problems created by the pandemic. He said we'd develop a vaccine by the end of the year, and we did. He said we'd ensure that the cure wasn't worse than the disease, and looks like he did that too.
Okay.
He's left Biden with vaccines and an economy that is set to boom.
Okay.
If that boom doesn't happen, we're all going to know who's to blame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's odd that all of these numbers, these revised projections, they got so much better after the election. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, might it have been nice for us? I think so, the vote.
So, real quick. So, I don't know what's going on with the internet when it comes down to YouTube. That channel up there, I hear a lot of people, they're typing in, they're saying, you know, I'm blurry, you know, I'm pixelated, you know, and I'm not even dancing to try to make it be that way. But nonetheless, something's going on. Maybe it's running slow. Maybe it's jammed up with hemorrhoids. I don't know. However, just in case you don't follow me on Facebook, and you do have a Facebook page, I also live stream this to Facebook. So therefore, if it's not a clean enough copy, you're welcome to follow me on my Facebook channel until I can figure out the internet's right about now. Because, I mean, I pay all this money. I pay all this money for this extra power and juice that's supposed to be going through that phone. So there's no reason that I should be glitching up. Unless, I don't know. So anyway, so just bear with me and we'll see about how we can get that taken care of. I guess I got to be inside of the darn internet building to get good service, you know, sitting right next to the server, plugged in. Anyway, let's continue though.
Voting public to have known these incredible facts and revised numbers before the election? You bet. But we know how the media operates, highlight any and all developments that could have a negative impact on the president, and bury the good news that revealed just how difficult life would become for regular people, regular working people, once again, under Joe Biden.
Now, I was just talking to somebody about this tonight. I said, you know what? You always got to question someone. They tell you a whole bunch of bad things about somebody and exclude the good. What's your motive? Why are you telling me all the negativity? If you come to me talking about some man, my girlfriend is this and that, she'll never do nothing. Whoa. Thanks for telling me, but what have you done to contribute to it? Are you giving me all the details? If I was to go to her and chit chat, would she say the same thing? And vice versa. You know, well, girl come in and Kev, he crazy, he won't do nothing, he got mad the other day because I'm like, okay. I'm willing to, you know, believe that. However, have you done any self-inventory? What have you contributed to that? Did you leave out any information? If I go to him and say, hey, yo, man, this right here, that's how she feels about this. And he goes, dude, but did she tell you this? And I go, no, she didn't. Or no, he didn't. That means that person is coming in with a motive to build an ally. That person is coming in and saying, you know what? I'm going to tell you all the negative things, get you on my squad, get you so brainwashed that even when new information comes out about this person, you will side with me. And that's where they got the bubble heads. Yeah, I don't care. You can give me all kind of information that can combat everything that the media said. And they will still go, so.
Yeah, we're going to be building back better, all right. But unfortunately, it will be happening in China, not here.
Zinger. First of all, I cannot stand that slogan because it was an accident. It was an accident that they had to make it look like it was serious. Yeah, we're going to build back better again. And they was like, shh, jeez, oh man. Okay, all right, guys, we got to go with that. The slogan, so folks don't recognize that Joe's going crazy. The new slogan, build back better again. There you have it. It didn't even come off the tongue smoothly. Yeah, he even felt, build back better again. See, yet they're still pushing it out there like he really thought that up. No, he didn't. That dude made a mistake. Anyway, let's continue.
Certainly not in places like Indianapolis, where I'm afraid that carrier plant's days are numbered.
Well, that's not good.
And to all of you Georgians, you're getting ready to vote. Maybe you already have in those Senate runoff races. You all should be asking yourself, which senators will be more likely to support policies that make it harder to ship jobs, manufacturing jobs, overseas? And which senators will make it easier to do so? Also, which senators will work to preserve all other good-paying jobs, including those that relate to the oil and gas industry?
Good question.
Well, I think you know the answer.
What?
And tonight, I want to say thank you to President Trump.
Hats off.
For what you did for the forgotten man and woman across this country and for American industry.
That's right.
And also for the families that don't want handouts. They want a government that works for them. They want the dignity of decent wages for a full day's work.
There you go.
The last 4 years are a prime example of what a president should be doing for the people.
Lord.
You may be brash at times, and the liberals don't like that, Mr. President, but you got things done. You put America first.
Thank you.
And that is what's truly important. Merry Christmas to all of you. And Merry Christmas to the entire Trump family for what they sacrificed over the last 4 years.
No, wait a minute. She can't say Merry Christmas. I'm offended. I'm offended because you know what? Maybe I don't celebrate Chris. Shut up. That's what I want you to do. Okay? Stop walking around finding problems, making problems out of nothing. That's what that is. When folks get offended over there, you can't say why. Why not? Why not? How about you ignore it? Huh? Yeah. With just the word just goes all down your spine. You can't. It makes me turn into a no. It's just Merry Christmas. We've been saying it for years here in America. Okay? All the stuff that she's talking about is what made folks vote for Trump. Couldn't say that out loud. Couldn't even mention the name Jesus in the White House. All of that stuff. Couldn't talk about, you know what, why y'all shipping our jobs over there. Couldn't question illegal immigration. None of that, because you're a xenophobe if you do that. All of these things that Trump stepped in and took heat for. Heat. Because the very powerful elects were going, what are you doing? What are you messing it up? We've been working for like 40 years to implement this diabolical scheme. And here you come in setting us all back. So I, for one, thank the president also. Now, with that being said, more corruption. Tammy Bruce, let's see what's going on with all of these teachers that's okay with the lockdown.
A national scandal is unfolding before our eyes, which is not unusual these days, as an entire generation of students is being conned out of a real education by unscrupulous and greedy teachers' unions hell-bent on using the pandemic to their advantage.
Kind of like the Democrats? So let me understand this, Tammy. You're saying that the teacher unions are doing the same thing as their overlords, the Democrat Party? You mean to tell me they've also trained them in the art of manipulation? So they've been studying under all of these evil empires? Okay, so let's see what happened. What she's
As a result, schools all over our country are still shut down and kids have been forced into online learning. And the cost has been staggering. For instance, in Los Angeles, schools saw a sharp drop in kindergarten enrollment, about 6,000 students. In St. Paul, Minnesota, 40%.
Now, does anybody understand how bad this is? 6,000 kindergartners aren't going to school in California. Now, do you understand how hard it is to recover from this? What are you going to do? Track down all them, take all their parents to court for, truancy? I mean, at this point, y'all opened up the door for a real raggedy approach towards education. You're now conditioning these kids. At some point, these kids are not going to want to go back to class, school. Heck, y'all done shut us down for 2 years straight. Why would I want to go back now? I'm used to running around the house during the daytime or going outside to play when my mom or dad goes to work. I'm used to it now. I'm used to it. And I think that's probably where they're trying to go. Not recognizing all the lives that they're impacting, not recognizing their own selfish motives are devastating these kids. 1 year of missing school could change your whole life, y'all. I was a great athlete in high school, but my senior year was my breakout year in football. That year alone solely got me a scholarship. Now imagine that whole year wiped away. Kev might be down there in that cheese line. All right, let me see. Is that the powdered milk? Can I get some of that? Oh, and 2 blocks. Wait, I can only get 1 big block? Okay. Give me the 1 big block. And I want some of that cereal. What kind? Cereal. Okay, give me some of that too. So, with that being said, that changed my whole life. 1 year. 1 year. Same thing with all these kids. And they all talking about we're saving kids' lives. No, you're not. The data doesn't support that. And if you're so old as a teacher that you are in a high-risk category, well, Miss Ethel Bethune, you might want to retire or at least take the time off until this thing gets under control. But what you don't do is sacrifice all the kiddies. Because you like, well, I've been teaching for 73 years, and I'm not ready to throw the towel in. It's time, Ethel. It's time. Get on at it. Don't look that way. Okay, you got your pension. Go on out. Go. Bring in a substitute. But bring the kids back to school.
% of high school students have failing grades. You guys, 40%.
40%.
And even higher percentage of kids in Houston, Texas are failing at least 2 classes in our nation's capital. There's been a 14...
So, this is great for China. Yes, we make America dumb again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Make our kids dumb. Destroy and decimate our whole middle class after y'all knew what was going on, but you let it ride. Sprinkle a little bit of that. Go on over there to the U.S. Spread that mess. And then after we get it going, then we'll come out and say, oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what? We got a little something coming your way, man. We didn't even know. I guess it was some animal wet shop, man. It's crazy. You good, Trump? You good, though? I mean, you need some help? Yeah, we need help. We need help. We want y'all to be honest. That's what we want. And these knuckleheads telling us it came out of a wet shop and some animal wet. Please, do y'all think that China would handle that shop with grace if that shop was responsible for unleashing a virus that could destroy them and the rest of the globe? You think that shop would still be open? You think they'd go in and just say, wow, we're doing a little inspection. Oh, yeah, you got to get rid of that bat or two, okay? Other than that, carry on. Just be careful. They would have taken the whole shop with the people inside of it and drug that off to a field somewhere, and all of them would have been stepping on rice paddies or eating bats. Now, you eat bats forever. So, yet, they want us to believe that these kids staying home is a good thing, keeping them safe by making them dumb, making them get to a point where they're like, man, why even go back to school? Go ahead. If you don't believe me, y'all, back in those 80s and 70s, even up into the mid-90s, any of y'all that own dogs, now this might be a little stereotypical, y'all, but it's true. Growing up in the hood, especially in black neighborhoods, you think we put dogs on leashes? And if we did, they halfway choked to death, because they will wrap that leash around the pole so tight where their cheek is up against it. And every day you got to come out and unravel the whole dog. So it became easier to just let your dog roam the whole neighborhood. Just roam it. Good luck, Sparky. Maybe he come home with a meal or two, ravaging through all your neighbor's trash. While you're gone doing whatever you're doing, just terrorizing the neighborhood. He's gone for 3-4 days, come back. I'm like, where you been, Ricardo? Had a dog named Ricardo. Ricardo would leave for like 2 or 3 weeks, come back in, smelling like perfume. I was hanging out with my lady friend around the corner. Yet, you take that dog and put it on a leash now. Watch what happens. What's this? You getting brand new? You keep these kids out of school 2 years. Then you're going to be talking about something. You know what? Let's shuffle them back in. See how they adjust. See where I'm going with this, y'all?
Percentage point drop among black students in kindergarten through 2nd grade who met literacy standards.
14% drop. Y'all, I thought the Democrats love black people. I thought they were fighting for the disenfranchised and all of that. But yet they let our little black kids get dumber by dropping 14 percentage points in literacy. As if they already weren't struggling with literacy in inner cities ran by funky, stinking, nasty, dirty, poop smelling Democrats. So let me get this straight. Your already raggedy schools are becoming more raggedy, but you're fighting for the little guy.
And just 20 miles away in Fairfax County, Virginia, a new survey of academic performance in schools found that F letter grades are up. Are you ready for this, you guys?
I'm ready.
83% this year.
Dun, dun, dun. Did y'all hear that number? That number is amazing. 83% increase of failures from 2019 to 2020. Huh? What could be the contributing factor? Huh? Leaders. leaders that are so selfish and politically motivated to take this pandemic and politicize it, knowing that if Trump would have got us back to school, Trump would have got us back to work, if any of these medicines or treatments that he suggested could have stopped the spread or cured folks to where they're not walking around mummified every single day, that would have lessened the Democrats' chances of winning anything. Matter of fact, I think that Joe would have been negative when it came down to voting. So what do? You know what? If we could have accomplished our goals and also saved our failing black kids that we just love so much, we would have. Unfortunately, our personal needs to have power, control, and enrich ourselves trump these little black kids that we just love so much. And that's what makes me throw up every time I think about the Democratic Party in particular in my throat. Just thinking about it, because all their moves are designed to self-serve. If it don't benefit them, sorry, no Me Too for you. Sorry, none. All fresh out of that mess, because that don't help us. Okay, all right. Yeah, the kid down there that got his butt shot in his back because he wanted to act up. Yeah, man, let's not talk to the girl that he molested and stole her stuff. We don't want to talk to her. We don't want to talk to her. Because right now, that Me Too cannot benefit us. So let's go ahead and talk to the dude that violated her and call him a hero. There you go. Instead of talking to Tara Reid about creepy, sleepy, sleazy, sloppy, slimy Joe, no, let's not talk to her. But let's talk to Trump about that comment he made on that bus when he was all by himself with that other guy that they recorded him saying stuff that even though he said it, he said, they will let you. Unlike Tara Reid, she didn't say, you know what, I let Joe Biden reach down and touch me. No, she didn't let him. Joe Biden, come on, thought you liked me. I mean, come on, you know what, I'm everyday Joe. I can do what I want. Yeah. So, with that being said, once again, the hypocrisy. Every blue moon, the stars and the moon align to where they can actually do something that helps themselves and the people. But in this case, letting these kids go back to school, it's not acceptable, man. Sorry. Yeah, kids that's becoming dumber than you already are. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's going to take about 3 or 4 generations to clear this mess up.
For Fairfax middle schoolers, it's even worse.
It's worse.
F's are up 300%.
That right there is astronomical. That right there, I got to make up a word. It's discombobulational. That's what it is. That's what that is. When you have a 300% increase in failing kids, good luck in the workforce, the job market. Good luck with all of that. All of these kids, if things don't turn around immediately, these kids right here, we're all going to be taken care of. Yep. Government. That's what it is. Set them up for failure. And these kids will actually have a legitimate excuse. Hey, man, you know, I could have went to school. I was only like, 7 when this happened. And I mean, I would have shook the virus off in a couple of days, if not even knowing it. I might not even knew I had it. But y'all felt the need to shut down all the schools for multiple years, too. Yeah. You set me back. You're giving folks a real legitimate excuse 3 or 4 years from now when they say, man, dude, I missed my junior and senior year. And you want me to go to college and become a computer programmer, like Joe said. We're going to go ahead and switch it up. All these coal miners can learn the code. You're going from coal to coding? Are you kidding me? Have you sat and talked to a coal miner lately? Have you ever gone into like some workshop where some dude is in there with a car engine, grease under his nails? This dude's been working on cars all his life, and you're like, yeah, we're going to shut this down. You need to learn the code. You got a dude busting rocks with the jackhammer, working on that jackhammer, and you're going to tell him, hey, we're not allowing you to dig no more with your jackhammer. You can go back to school and learn the code. My father can't even use his cell phone. And they're talking about, you can go back. Let Joe, right now at whatever age he is, learn the code. He can't even learn to get out a complete sentence, y'all. And yet he had the nerve to say, there's going to have to learn the code. Just like I'm going to have to learn to stop lying and saying stupid things. Anyway.
This is right, not going from
the pandemic's disruption to your children's education, to your jobs and incomes, and to your other caregiving responsibilities has been tremendous. We also could not be prouder of how our students and staff have stepped up to learn and to teach in new ways.
To teach in new ways. Okay, so Pumpernickel here, whoever this guy is who's talking, those beady little eyes he has. This dude is trying to justify all of this mess. Only to the bubbleheads. That will fly. So now he's trying to pump up, boost your ego up. You know what I'm saying? You know what, guys? We can't thank you enough for allowing us to destroy your hard-earned business that you built from the ground up for nothing. We cannot thank you enough for being there. We can't thank you enough for waiting for us to pass, relief money for all of y'all that we forced to stop working, but we darn sure passed money to get our pockets fat. Yeah, well, get that money coming, man. We need our stuff, but not for everybody else. If it doesn't benefit us politically, you're just going to have to wait. But we thank you. We thank you for your sacrifice and your patience. All of that stuff. So now this dude's trying to jap up everybody's head like this is a good thing. We thank you for this and that. No, we're not thanking you for making the kids dumber. Here he goes.
And how everyone has adapted to these challenges.
No, we haven't.
Wow, how everyone has adapted, right? This is not like going from a B student to a C student here. This system is literally failing the students. Children are being left behind. Special needs students can't get the help they need. Yet the teachers' unions want the schools to stay closed.
Why?
Of course, those very same teachers' unions will see an even more power framework under the Biden administration.
What?
When we win this election, we're going to get the support you need and the respect you deserve.
Now you hear that old crusty voice right there? That dude sounds so feeble. Man, we win this election. Get that. No, spit that mess out, Joe. Your voice don't even sound the same as it sounded 3 years ago. Such a drastic decline with this guy. And yet, here he is, man.
You don't just have a partner in the White House. You'll have an NEA member in the White House.
Oh.
Well, that should be concerning to some people. And joining me now is Asra Nomani, Fairfax County parent and former Georgetown professor.
Now, you know why they get away with this, y'all, before we get out of here? Because they have done something that I thought about. I said to myself, how are they able to have a small group of people that have power, Democrat-ran leadership in cities, the media, all of them, small group of people, done convince the larger amount of people to go ahead and allow them to make decisions that will destroy fully their kids' lives, their own lives, all of that, the future. How are they able to do it? Fear. That's how. We can't tell you that's what we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this made up, you know what? And I'm not saying it ain't real. I'm saying the reaction to it is made up. All of those numbers that were trickling in, making us think every 5 seconds someone was falling over in the middle of the street dying. All of that stuff was done to get a whole bunch of people to not focus on the damage that this small group of people was doing, because that small group of people made the larger amount of people think, you're trying to save our lives. It's important that we do this, and I don't want to die in the middle of shopping at Walmart. Okay, so go ahead. Whatever we got to do, we'll do it. That is how you get folks. That is how you get them to say, now, in any normal circumstance, if they'd have came out and said, we need to close all the schools, or if they'd have came out and said, we're going to shut down the economy, you would go crazy. The larger amount would rise up, and all of those people be afraid of the full-blown French Revolution, where, let's go get King Louis. And they storm the castle. They would be afraid of that. But all they need is a good marketing strategy to make these folks not look at what they're losing, but trick them into thinking what they're gaining, which is nothing. He's saving me by putting this raggedy mask on my face. And even though Fauci said it doesn't work, but I do feel better. I feel better about this, So with that being said, that is why they're able to get away with this. But there's one other element that allows this to happen. Y'all ready for this? Come here, y'all. Get on in it. All right. The other element is this: Trump derangement syndrome. See, we needed y'all. We prepped y'all for 3 years to respond like a dog. Do you remember? They always talk about dog whistles. We done prepped y'all to respond so aggressively to Trump that when Trump says things that make sense, When Trump highlights things that are practical, reasonable, you will no longer respond to reason. You won't respond to common sense. Your initial response, because we didn't train you, man. We didn't train you. Your initial response is, what? It came from Trump? You block it out. Immediately. I don't care what this dude said. If it came from him, I'm blocking it out. That makes you a perfect candidate for mind control, manipulation, tyranny, all of the things you think you hate Trump for. They done got you so convinced that you can't see you're getting chased right into real tyranny. That is unbelievable and amazing. I mean, on one end, I'm upset about it, but on the other end, I marvel. It's amazing to watch. I sit back and I'm like, wow, if this was a movie, it'd be beautiful. If this right here was a psychological experiment to see how folks can get trained like that, to overlook the obvious, to set aside their own self-interest, to where they look at a human and just say, disregard this dude's words, disregard what this dude is talking about, that might save my life, my kid's life. Forget all that mess. Racism, white nationalism, and his raggedy personality trumps my common sense. I hated to have to read them like that, but I do it, and I'd do it again if I had to. Let's get out of here with this lady from Australia, right? From down low. You know, she's down there, you know, and down in, what is it? How do they say it, mate? I love the way they do that. Hello, mate. Yeah, and Crocodile Dundee. Wait a minute. Where is it at? I think I still got it. Oh, yeah. It's never that far. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Here we go, y'all. This goes out to Australia, baby. me. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Okay? Yeah, man. Keep that just for that. Yeah, Crocodile Dundee inspired me to get this big old knife. This right here is almost like a mini sword, y'all. I'm telling you right now. Somebody busts out of the closet and they got a samurai sword. I could hold them off. With this knife. Okay? Wait a minute now. You gonna wait? Hold up. Wait. See now where you come from? You gonna make me? Yeah. See. So I love that knife. Now, with that being said, let's move on to you know what? A little bit of identity politics. Listen to this.
You as a married gay man, you must just be feeling absolutely joyous about the coming Biden administration having what the media are calling the first openly gay cabinet member. Right. What do you think about that? Are you just overjoyed and celebrating in the streets?
Rita, I know you and I know you know me, so I think you know my feelings on this. I mean, first off, let's just be very clear. Okay. The media this is complete fake news that he is the first openly gay cabinet position in an administration. Rick Grinnell, who is a friend of mine, who was the former ambassador to Germany and then the acting Secretary of Intelligence.
So let me understand. The Democrats are doing exactly what they've always done, which is use identity politics to make people think that they're making progress. And they're fighting against racial disparities. That's what you're telling me? Like Joe the other day when he was getting interviewed with, I guess, his husband. When they were all getting interviewed. And, you know, his husband brought up the fact that she got a prayer partner, y'all. She got her prayer partner. So Joe's husband, she said, I got a prayer partner. Now, for some reason, as she started to talk about that prayer partner, Joe decides, I'm going to interject something that is unnecessary. Yeah, it was a black woman from a black church. Did y'all hear that? Anybody see that clip? Here you are. I mean, do I need to tell you what race my prayer partner is? Or do nobody sees how much pandering that was right there? I wanted to choke my phone as I was watching it. Y'all, yeah, Samsung make a great phone. Yeah, this latest Samsung Note 20 Plus Ultra, whatever this garbage is that sometime work and sometime don't, I almost was willing to crush it in my hand, in my man hand. This dude comes out just to make sure you know that it's a black woman. We were at a black church. Black people, see, we like you. And yet black folks don't even catch that. I mean, white liberals should be offended by that. If Trump walked around constantly talking about, hey, by the way, I love black people. I got a black person. You know what? There's one time the black person. Why is that necessary? How will we ever make any progress in regards to racial tension if you keep throwing it up in everybody's face? So instead of us looking at each other like Americans, by the way, yeah, even though you're all supposed to be in the body of Christ, yeah, black Christ people and there's white Christ people, okay? You're not just the body of Christ, there's, you're black, white, and all that other stuff that I want you to unnecessarily focus on. So now they're doing it again. Oh, by the way, gay. Gay. Yeah, look at that. We're doing stuff. We got gay people coming in.
He was the first openly gay cabinet member. That's number one.
Yes.
We're putting that aside. Pete Buttigieg was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. It's a small city with about 100,000 people.
That's it.
He knows nothing about transportation. And, you know a little bit of something as the mayor, but he is not qualified in any way. And the way it's being sold on us is, oh, he's gay.
Y'all hear that? And that is why they use identity politics. It is so you don't focus on the substance, or you don't criticize them. That is why they use it. It is redirection. That's why I said it's masterful. It's almost amazing to behold when you are immune to it. So from someone who sees through this crap, thank God I have the ability to see through this crap. It's a bad thing to be delusional. It's a bad thing to be a victim of manipulation like this. And folks always talking about how you Trump supporters are brainwashed. When you're informed, you can't be brainwashed and manipulated, okay? So when they come out with garbage like this, just like Ruben just came in and said, that's not the first black cabinet member. Stuff like that, don't fly with us. But guess what? All the bleeding hearts liberals that just wait on the news to feed them like a baby bird, they hear that. They're the first gay cabinet member, and they all go, that's great. We're making progress. Now, instead of asking, well, is he qualified? Y'all remember Longshanks from Braveheart? Favorite character in that mug outside of William Wallace. When that son came to him, very gentle, with Philip. Remember Philip? Yeah, he's like, you have to stand up to him. I will. And when Longshanks came on the scene, and here comes Philip, we will stop him, sire. Who is this who speaks to me as if I need his opinion? This is Philip, sire. I've appointed him my high counsel. Is he qualified? What happened to Philip? He threw his tail right out the window. That means we don't need to be going, well, he's gay, white, woman, black, whatever. Are you qualified? And if you're not, throw that person right out the window. But when you convince folks that just because he's gay, we're going to let him destroy transportation, okay? We're willing to let them destroy all of this garbage because he's gay. Yeah. So when you step up as a woman and you throw out something stupid and people go, that's the craziest. He said it's crazy because she's a woman. But no, I said it's crazy because that's crazy. Well, no, it isn't. We know what you really meant. It's a dog whistle. Let's finish here this mess before we go, y'all. About to bounce. We have 800, 108. Okay. Hour and 8 minutes.
Hey, so it's wonderful. Yeah. It's fantastic. He's gay. What else do you want from us?
He's gay, y'all.
And it's like, you know what? The fact that I'm gay is probably the least interesting thing about me and sort of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. But this is the perverse thing that identity politics does.
What?
I am much more interested in quality and qualifications than I am in...
Now here comes the hypocrisy. Because remember, y'all, the left loves gay people. Okay? They love anybody who supports them. Anybody who feels they're a victim, we love you. Until you become a gay guy like him, who is immune to the identity politics, who don't fit the narrative. Or Brandon Straka. You are only as good to us as obedient as you are to us. But when you start stepping out of line as a gay person, we don't know love that type of gay person. Same thing with black. We love black people, unless you're black conservative. We love black women, unless you are a black conservative woman. We love women, unless you are a conservative woman. Then you're ugly. Then you're controlled by your husband. Then all that stuff. Any group that steps out of the norm, the accepted small circle that the Democrats have built, all these little teeny groups everywhere, they love them until those folks become disobedient or aware of their shenanigans. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, dude, you can't pull that garbage with me, man. I see through you. Okay? X-ray vision. Let's continue.
Sexuality and diversity. But they've basically decided, oh, as long as we got a black woman here and we got a gay guy here and a trans person over here and maybe a guy with a limp and a lady with a lazy eye over here, well, then somehow we're doing something right. And you're not going to believe this, Rita. I am a fan of that guy. You may remember him, Martin Luther King Jr., and he wanted something that now is thought of as rather radical. He wanted his children not to be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And that is literally the reverse of what the Biden cabinet is doing.
So let me understand as we close. All these Democrats that's been running around for years, talking about we're making racial progress, while simply handpicking folks based on their color, their race, their gender, all of that, are doing the exact opposite of what Dr. King really was fighting for. You're reversing the process. That's what you're doing. You're setting us back hundreds of years for political reasons only and taking advantage of the hurt and the pain from the past of certain people. That's what you're doing. You're saying, you know what? We already know black folks are sensitive about racism. Let's use that to our advantage. We already know somehow the gay and lesbian community, in their mind, are constantly being attacked and persecuted from being gay. And you know what bothers me about that? And I know I might take some heat from this. Okay, some people like being a victim. Some people like making themselves a social misfit and judging you when you recognize it. You know, I watched some folks with the full-blown purple, green, rainbow hair, and they got the gay lesbian stuff tattooed all on their face, and they lead in with that. They throw it up in everybody's face and get mad when somebody goes, who cares? Or, hey, you know what, I don't support this particular belief that you have. Then they get mad. You work hard to make yourself stand out like a sore thumb, only to get mad at those who recognize the sore thumb. It's like the girl who comes out to the club. She already know that by wearing a napkin around your waist, you can't cover up much. She already know that when you put 2 Band-Aids on your chest, that means every man is going to get caught in a booby trap soon as you walk through the door. You already know when you come in and the song come on, jiggling baby, go ahead baby, the jiggling baby, and you run out there like, come on girl, this is my song, and the first thing you do is jiggling baby, go ahead. And the dudes are sitting there like, dang, you already know. But then when the dudes do it, y'all so ignorant, I can't believe y'all disrespecting me like that, even though I like that attention though. Even though I made it my mission to put on this napkin around my waist and those Band-Aids to cover my boobs. I knew you was going to get caught in that booby trap, but it makes me mad. Makes me mad. See, now I'm not blaming the victim, but I am saying, be a little wiser. I don't have to run around saying, hey everybody, I just want y'all to know I'm heterosexual, if you're wondering, okay? Who cares, man? You think in 2020, folks running around talking about, man, you know what? Let's posse up and go gay bashing tonight. You think that's what's happening, y'all? I mean, but in their head it is. In their head it is. Do you think somebody's going to do, how can we figure out where all the transgenders hang out so we can go and firebomb the building? All of that. I'm going, y'all are believing a reality that was downloaded in your brain that you're not seeing in your own life. Which I have to give it to them. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, I'm just glad to be one of those that can see clear. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. And I hope, y'all, that it's going to be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. That's what I'm hoping. So God bless y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. We're going to do it again. And I'm also going to figure out what the deal is with this internet. That's what I'm going to do. Find out what the deal. If I have to go up in the phone, they ain't going to be up in there like, what is this, an ultratronic flipper tripper? And let me poke around with this peanut butter defibrillator. See what's going on in here. I want to know why the internet ain't working fast enough. Johnny on the spot. Shoot, they need to cut something off my bill if I can't get no good service. All right, so God bless y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget, check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. Also, Those that can, subscribe to my Kevin's Corner page. I'm putting together a montage, y'all. A montage. All right, some of Kevin's Corner live greatest hits. And I'm going to upload that on my other network, but it's time consuming because I didn't realize how many live shows and how long I've been doing this, y'all. But I wouldn't be able to do it without the support and help from you guys. Because I sure ain't getting it from the dang on Democrats who just love black people. And also these darn media companies that I really love black people, except for the ones that's getting on it, messing up our narratives. So God bless. See y'all next time. Kevin's Corner. Take care.